Research shows that there's greater content retention if you do student interactions like group work, and I find that it's just a real community building activity to have students work in groups. I feel like group work needs a lot of intention. You have to be really deliberate with what you're doing and why you're doing it, and make those choices beforehand so that when you walk into the classroom, you can figure out how to make it best for students while also getting to whatever outcomes you want for the day and for the whole lesson.
So when I'm setting up a group work in the classroom, I try to mimic what it's like to be in the real world, because they're going to be working in teams in their career, in their profession. So I try to really make it as real life situational as possible. I try to make sure that all students are included. I mix up my English language learners with other students. I try to break up the friends dynamics, because what I've found is when students are not with their friends, they're actually more accountable.
Oftentimes, for me, it's best to pre-assign students into groups. Sometimes I have students count off. I also try to think about what are the deliverables, or is it going to be a report out? Is it going to be that students are working just in their groups, perhaps doing a peer review? I consider that a kind of a group work that doesn't have a report out, but students are reporting to each other in that.
What I did in the beginning of the semester, just to build a positive learning community in my class, is we had a team building activity. Everybody had specific roles. For example, there's going to be a timekeeper. We also have a facilitator, and that student is in charge of making sure that everybody's on task.
And that gives unrealistic images for how girls want to grow up, for how they feel like men are attracted to them.
We have an equity monitor, which makes sure that everybody's getting along. And then we also have the recorder, and then that person is in charge of taking notes or filling out the worksheets for the activity. And the way I break out the roles is that facilitator is the person with the shortest commute, and the timekeeper could be, for example, the oldest person in the group. That way they also get to know each other when they're figuring out their group roles.
I do think that there are so many challenges in coming up with good group work that it takes a lot of experimentation. And it is important to be flexible in your class and to be able to say, we're going to do this activity longer, or we're going to change the focus of it. You actually get to the goals that you want, and the group work itself doesn't take over the class, but that you're getting to the learning outcomes that you're trying to get to. I think that it does take some structure to figure out the best ways to do group work, but the work that you put into that, particularly in the beginning of a semester, there really is payoff down the road at the end of the semester, and students sort of know what to do, and they can in fact do the group work often without a lot of instructions toward the end. And after many years, I'm still trying to figure out the best ways to do group work, and I find that it's really an art and not a science, and just some open-mindedness about how to get to the outcomes that I want.